Hi, guys, and welcome back to Transits and Tactics. And we're experiencing the solar transit in gate 42, the gate of growth. I actually, personal note, I love number 42, and I love it from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a very, very amazing number. And then this morning, and I remember that last year as well during this transit, I was re-listening to the Richard Rudd's contemplation on gate 42, and he brings that up like this is the answer to the universe, and the way the contemplation explains this, it is all the theme of our expectations and detaching from expectations as we are evolving in this journey of life that ultimately always ends with death, right? But death is not the center point of this energy. It really is about accepting yourself as you are and letting go of these, the expectations of yourself, of the future, of the past. We can be very attached to our stories, and we are playing a character kind of role in our story, but you can be too deep into it sometimes not to see the bigger picture. And what 42 does, in my understanding, it's just presenting you with a bigger picture to what is actually happening right now. Another, or probably coming out of it, the energy that this brings that I am absolutely buzzing from right now. I actually really, really like this transit. I was just sharing it with Anita, is because this is a great energy for completing projects and also making meaningful progress on the big projects you're in. Because you're getting this, if you lean into letting go of worrying, right? You can get this a very sober bird's eye view on what needs to be done. And this is what I've discovered, so this week, I have these weird cycles. Actually, let me just give you first, I'm going to give you this backstory about the cycles and I'm going to jump ahead. So we have the harmonious gate, gate 53, which is the gate of beginnings. If you have that in your chart, that activates the whole channel of maturation. And this is about life cycles. So you can evaluate where you are in each areas. Where in the cycle are you? And maybe how you entered this cycle as well. Are you completing the cycle? So you have to have this good understanding what your life cycles are even. This is a very interesting topic to even talk about because it's in terms of visibility. For example, people want everything to happen now, or they get so difficult on themselves that they're not consistent. For example, that's a huge topic. Why am I not consistent? Why am I feeling right now completely, not lit up, and I just can't create anything? Well, you're just in the dormant part of your cycle. It's so cyclical. And I have these specific cycles when I write my books, right? Because soon I will have authored 2 books, right? But the first book, I've written some of it. Then there was a huge, huge break. And of course, there's personal life issues, and my husband Les passed away, and there's a lot of things like that. But there was still this lull. I couldn't get myself back to write the book. I did some other things. And then suddenly something just clicked. And in that case, it was a trigger on the outside. And I said, no, I'm finishing the book. And in 2 weeks, things fell into place. I got Mari Smith to write the foreword, which was incredible, just in its what happened. I still don't believe that this happened, to be honest. So everything fell into place, and then bam, and the book came out, became the bestseller, and has been such an amazing asset in my toolbox ever since, right? I'm very proud of that book. But this time, I'm writing the second book, and I started writing it, I think it was November. And I woke up in the morning and I said, I know what my second book will be about. I know what its purpose is also in my business, as well as in my mission and, my contribution to the collective. And I turned on my video camera and I recorded, I think, 5 videos straight away, basically talking it out loud. And the book was done. But I had to write it. I had to, transcribe it. I had to rewrite it. I had to edit it. So I did most of it. And then I had a lull for months. And it's only now, it's April now. So what, 5 months later? This transit is bringing me back into that book. And it's literally done. There was not that much done. So I have the same cycle with this writing of the books. What it gives me is an understanding that it's very probably likely for me to start a project, do a lot, like do a big burst. I will probably do more than I even expect in this burst. But then before I finish it, there is some sort of lull. Something is cooking. So for whatever reason, whether it's internally processing, literally on a physical level, sometimes what just happened kind of needs to be processed before I can, in a very grounded way, presented to the world. That's the personal cycle. These are the things that I'm talking about with the awareness. And I think the human design is exactly the tool to give us this awareness about different aspects of our lives, rhythms and cycles being just one part of those, you know. So that's one of the things. Let me go back now. So we talked about the solar transit in gate 42, and the gate of growth, right? So the growth, the completion, the detachment from the drama and seeing the bigger picture, which helps. And then we have the grounding energy, which is in gate 32, and it's the gate of continuity. So we're bringing our projects to completion with this. And it also helps us to create awareness what steps are required with what we've started to complete. We were just talking with Anita as well. We did a little strategizing session without, revealing any kind of private details. But this is exactly the time where hey, there's a resistance in this area. So why don't we do this? Because there's a resource here that will help us to achieve even probably better goal than initially this other area that resists us to get sorted, presented. So how cool is that? And this is, we're in a way, this is the energy of 32. It has a collective aspect where it's rooted into a personal goal. But through that, you're serving the larger purpose. This is how I truly am connected to this during this transit. So we have growth, continuity, we have the cycles, the beginnings and the middles and the ends. It's a beautiful time. I suggest, create space for addressing your projects, especially have a look at those that have been stalled. Actually, both me and Anita, we were discussing about things that were kind of stalling, and then now there's a breakthrough. So have a think. Who do you know? Who is in your world, and what is in your world that can help you complete or at least meaningfully create progress in whatever you're doing, the big projects. So it's a fantastic transit in my experience. Anita, how about you?
Yeah, exactly. This is great. This is my daughter has her birthday in this energy. So it's really powerful energy. And as you said, it's the energy for completion. So I do have the gate 53. And so what I can do is start a load of projects and leave a trail of destruction behind me and not complete them, right? So if you don't have that gate 42 naturally in your chart, you might be more or it might help you better to get someone to edit for you, to hand over the project once you've got it going. It's the 42 is the program manager. I see what needs to be done to pull this together to finish it, right? That's the 42. But what's really interesting this time is if you look at the journey of the sun through Aries, you see that you connect with your spirit first in the gate 25. And you discern what are your opinions because it's your life, right? It's your dream. And then you move into the gate 21. Well, are you ready to take charge of your own dreams? And um, 51 is just break through or shock yourself into doing it your way because we've been so conditioned. We're almost in a trance for centuries now of doing things someone else's way. And then the gate 42 is right. Now you're the leader. Now let's go. It's your thing. You're the authority. Go for it. And then the last gate is the gate 3, which is innovation. I'm now building on what's there already and creating something beautiful and innovative out of it. And we literally, before this call, had a 5 minute, literally move through all those different gates into doing something innovative with respect to me for a new book for me. And what I want to talk about today as well is it's so powerful as Aries energy. Aries is I want what I want when I want it. And then that means you need to own what you want because that allows you, that sets up the whole ball rolling manifesting wise. And with the other energies around this, I want to mention it because it's so important. The sun today is conjunct with Chiron in the gate 42. And the earth in the gate 32 is actually, the full moon is going to be there on the 13th or 12th and 13th. So the Chiron is just happens to be the energy of wounding that we might hold around shining as an individual. And you might find you've put yourself into a job where you can't shine, or, there's genuinely a real fear of shining, in case you're going to be rejected. So the sun is coming to this and it's kind of going, okay, let's just dissolve this once and for all. Let's use this energy in Pisces and let's just dissolve this wounding where you're afraid to shine once and for all, because you can imagine, right, the implications for your marketing, for your business, for doing what's really in tune with you, rather than doing just what's next door to it. Just maybe once removed from where you need to be. The way I describe it is, you have a radio and you tune into 101 mega or frequency 101. If you're at 101.5, it gets crackly. So it's not quite there. But when you're in 101, you're literally lined up with your time. So the moon and the sun are helping us to ask the questions about where are we allowing fear of failure to hold us back, rather than stepping into the other side of this gate that anchors, rather than seeing the potential in something. And this is the question that anchors this gate 42. Am I worried about it failing? So am I overcomplicating everything, overthinking everything? Or am I going to see the potential, see the bigger picture, and understand how to populate it? And I have to pull up your point that you made about our natural cycles. I think that was just brilliant. We do have natural cycles where we're not on all the time. So people are looking to become consistent and their definition is on all the time. And I'm there, that's just not how it works. That's not how we do it. How we do it is we understand that, say, for me as well, as I have a triple split. So I will take something in. It takes me time to digest it and assimilate it. I call it percolating, like good coffee. You just need to let it go the distance to be good coffee. And when it all clicks together, then I am absolutely all gung ho, very happily able to complete something. So that's a huge point. When you know your design, you understand your own cycles and your own rhythm. And this is part of my work. I help you learn how to find your pace in life. And when you know that, you're not running like other people or slowing down to a halt. Like you're understanding, well, this is my pace and I will get it done when I get it done. And I'll create my deadlines accordingly because, now you're working to your pace. And I remember learning in my coaching with the Hendricks was it's your essence pace. It's how you're designed to move. We're not all designed to be marathon runners, nor are we designed to be sprinters. And just find your groove in it. And this is what this energy is about. Natural starts, natural endings. And one more thing, just understanding your um, process of ending things. Because when you do that, you won't be forcing something to end. You won't be trying to get things done as quickly as possible, and then your way of ending is starting something new. You'll find that you won't be moving into something new with grief from not having achieved or completed something, and you won't have all that energy of incompletion hanging on to you. Because one of the first things I would advise to people when they're starting their manifesting is, okay, what things do you need to complete now that really makes room in your energy to step into something new? What do you need to complete? Because that's where we start. And And what's your process of completion? It's very cool. Very cool.
I love it because, this is literally whenever I feel a little stuck, what do? I clean up first. Before I
Yeah.
start, I clean up. This is the cleaning up. I so resonate with that. In fact, this year after quite a turmoil and then, completely unpredictably, falling in love and getting married. And the last 2 years were strange. Man, they were very, very weird, and I don't know why, but they had to happen. And so this year, I felt like even though we already quarter into the new year, this is exactly talking about the cycles. When you know, it's about trust. When you know that you take longer, when you know that things happen slower, but then there is a big breakthrough, you're becoming okay with it. So ultimately it is about trust. And it's funny because one of my clients asked me today, why was I working on editing my first book, when it's already out there, and the audio book is coming now. There's the big reveal that just happened. The audio book that I am not narrating myself is coming out. And I edited the first book because I wanted, to edit some wording, to align it with the understanding of human design that I have right now. But I also said to him, the main thing, what I want is I want to encourage trust, because all of that stuff is just knowledge if you don't implement it. And to implement this, to trust that your cycle is a correct way for you to do. It's very scary because everybody and the societies and we grow up and we are told that things are done a certain way. And so when you're trying to do those things a different way, there is this inner, like you're feeling like an outsider. And you know what happens to an outsider outside the tribe? It dies. It doesn't survive. If animal strays away from a pack, if it's a pack animal, that's a chances that this is not going to be an easy journey or that they will not survive. And that's why we are so, sometimes we're holding back as well. It's a scary place to be. And what you need to cultivate is really trusting, because when you trust, that's when the manifestations happen. Manifestations don't happen when you follow traditional marketing strategies, to a T. They happen when you trust that when your time comes, it comes. When your people find you, they find you. Where they find you, none of your business. They will find you. When you start trusting this, then you find somehow that some traditional strategies are even becoming aligned to you with this new vision, because the trust is what makes you very, neutral when you're starting doing things that are neutral things in your business. And so
Mm.
you're not overthinking and you're not exuding this desperate energy of fear of missing out.
Absolutely. That's so true. And you can stop giving yourself a hard time for not being done yet. You can stop criticizing yourself and judging yourself for not starting something yet. When you know your cycle, as you say, you practice your cycle. So, say when I was young, I used to play field hockey and I was a center forward. So all I needed to be was on that top line, 25 yards from the goal and run back and forth between there and that. So that was my training, right? My coach was trying to train me as an endurance for endurance, for being able to run, a few miles. And the whole point about when you know your cycle is you can practice your cycle. You can practice it in a way that you know is correct for you. And what I did was you, he started training us based on our positions and what was needed for that position. But I always knew I was a sprinter. I
Mm,
never tried to be anything else. And it's even good for my design, short spurts of energy and activity and then rest.
mhm.
I mean, it's so fun. But when you do know your cycle, you stop criticizing yourself. You know exactly what needs to be done and when. And the beauty of this energy, when it's so loaded with the Chiron and the full moon opposite it, it's going to shine on how you really feel about doing things that are out of your groove and out of your own cycle rhythm. You start saying, oh, actually, I'm exhausted doing that. It's time to, and someone said to me the other day, well, they stopped working a year ago. Why would they still be stressed? And I'm kind of there. Sometimes when you stop the activity that has been stressing you out, because you don't realize how stressed you are, it's when you stop that you realize, oh my God, now I'm getting sick. Oh
Yeah.
my God, now I'm exhausted. I can finally tune into how I really feel about being running around like a headless chicken trying to get things done. And this is what this energy helps us to do: intuitively navigate change. The gate 32. So recognizing that um, that you might have built up a level of activity and stress and doing things a certain way that isn't correct for you. And then you see, when something new comes in, a new opportunity, your first response will be, oh, I'm not sure I can do that. I'm just exhausted doing what I'm doing already. Rather than contemplating, well, let go some of the things that you're doing already and then start doing what actually lines up even better. So just to me, knowing my pace with even work helped me know how to schedule, helped me know how I'm designed to show up consistently. And, as Juliet will say with marketing, you do actually need to be there consistently. But what I do is I bulk do it. I do it in all in one go, and then I release it and schedule it. So that's my way of doing it. Someone else might like to do it day by day. Someone else might. So it's just realizing, oh my God, when I used to go to these meetings and seminars about business and marketing, they would say, now, here's our way, you do it your way. And I was there without human design going, I wish I knew what my way was. I mean, I'm looking to you for guidance. I'm a 5-1. I'm trying to learn a way of doing it. I don't know my way. Whereas now I do. And what I'm realizing is it's about our ability to know how we leverage our energy so that we can naturally practice our cycle and become really good at it. I just think that's a big deal. Stop beating ourselves with a stick when we don't
Yeah,
need.
but let's be honest. Guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, but I have this chatter in my head. We all do. We're
Mm,
here guiding
mm.
you. We're telling you, you will stop beating yourself up. I will tell you this, you will not stop beating yourself up because you can't shut up your monkey brain. It's going to always say some things. But what you can do is you can choose to lovingly ignore the chatter in your head, the saboteurs in your head. And that's where the power is. That's how, when we say you will stop worrying about this, you will stop, because you will recognize this thought for what it is. It's just a thought. So you have the power and you're in control. And this is so, so important. And I want to bring back to, when we were talking about the cycles, in order for you to start something new. So for example, now I want to be as consistent as I was before all this stuff happened in my personal life. I want to write more articles. I don't want to, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, why can't I? Why can't I restart my podcast? Like, I don't work that many hours, to be honest with you, to not have physical capacity. And I realized it's the big projects that I had on my plate, like the books and big projects I've already started. They need to be finished first, and they need to be completed in a way that feels good, that doesn't feel rushed or just, for the sake of it. And this transit is giving this energy. So if you have that, you want to do, you don't know why you can't start something new, what is on your plate? Some things just simply say no to. Some things, maybe there is so much resistance, there's no point going there. Some things you might find that, you know what, today, like this now is the time, like I feel right now about these books. Oh my God, in a week's time, I could be having 2 books out there, and then I don't have to worry about it because it's a huge project. It's a huge project. It takes over you. You can then start something new, but then you need also a period of rest. After you finish something, it's not like the next day you start something new. You need to, shake yourself off, like take a deep breath, relax a little bit, feel good about the fact that you've achieved something. Then you do. Then you focus. Also, this energy is good to think about what could happen next, right? You don't have to do it straight away. So that's the way, and this is our blessing for you guys. Have a look what can be taking off your plate. Have a look what you can complete. Have a look what was stalling you that might need now meaningfully um, addressing, so that there is progress on it, so you feel like you're not stalled. This is what this energy is giving you. And with detachment, don't blame yourself for getting stuck in it. We all do. We all do. And when you're looking for your own way, the only way to know is to try it. That's how you know. You try this, you try that, you live through this, you try this, and some things will feel off. no matter how hard you try, and they're not your things. And sometimes it's very difficult. I was actually just writing today one of the chapters in the book, how difficult it is to admit to yourself that what you're, for example, teaching and selling is not your thing. It's not
Mm,
your thing. No matter how you understand this principle, you can teach it, you can pass it on, but it's not your thing. So it's out of integrity to teach it. And that's what I've experienced, and, couldn't sabotage myself all the time because of this. So it takes courage, and courage takes trust. So
mm.
this is all about the bigger picture, and trust your journey, trust that your way is the way that is right for you. So guys, uh, go and do, this is the week for doing, right? I'm also going to just finish this now, go back to my
Yeah.
book. I want to complete it, and I just want to be free after that in a very natural way. So we will see you in the next transit, which is gate 3, right? Anita,
Yeah.
you were saying gate
Yeah.
3.
It is.
That's a
Yeah.
very interesting energy. So can't wait to tell you all about it then. And for now, goodbye.
Yeah.